Yeah.
And that's how we open the show. Hello and welcome to the Legends of Tabletop podcast. We are getting ready to jump into our runner's game. It took me a hot minute to figure out what the hell we were doing tonight, and then I remembered, and it was mostly bad at the end of last session. So we'll kick it over to Jesse and let him tell us what's going on, and we'll jump into it.
I don't know what you're talking about. So last session, you guys made your continued your way through Sturbridge, this portion of the Burnt, making your way around the zombie infested horde in the center of the city where it's nice and glassed. Struggled, but ultimately prevailed, getting through some fallen structures. In the meantime, too, Huxley managed to salvage a generator. And you also found some underground tunnels, like service tunnels that connect several of the buildings in this area. Potential intel in the future. You can use it, you can sell it, whatever you like. So, carrying a giant generator on his back, the three of you made your way towards the GPS locations. Upon arriving there, it was pretty much desolate. There was some debris and looked like there had been buildings here. Then a giant Gatling gun turret thing popped up out of the ground. It fired at you. You wrestled it. Zuchy stabbed it a couple of times, kicked it, punched it. Ultimately, you guys ended up beating it. There was also like a little weird alarm thing that came up. Huxley managed to rewire the alarm, and when Smokey came over to it, suddenly this like in-ground bay door system slid open. Lights, flickered on, these kind of sickly yellowish orange lights. And there was a ramp heading down into the ground. Considering that Smokey and Zuchy are running pretty much on fumes almost. Pretty sure that you wouldn't be able to make it back home if you chose to turn around and try to make it back. So you head down the ramp, and as we closed out, the doors behind you kind of slid closed, and the light began to narrow until there was just a sliver, and everything went dark.
We also thought Smokey was getting hacked as he approached.
Oh, yes, that's right.
To turn off his suit or whatever.
Yep. It ended up just the system pinging him, basically.
Yeah, I think you did shout that, and Smokey did.
Yes.
I can't remember if Smokey rolled to understand it, or it came up that it's because I had the coordinates.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had the coordinates on me, so.
Yeah, she had given you what's her name? Marla had given you the HSD with the information on it.
Yeah.
And it kind of had like a little code built in that when the system reached out, it pinged, you pinged back, not even knowing that you were, and that's what got you in. So, at this moment in time, the three of you are making your way down a ramp in near darkness.
We flip our lights on.
Yes, so I was about to say, if you want to put your headlights on, you can. There are those, it's almost like runner lights, like in a movie theater, basically, running down either side of the ramp. So you're not in complete darkness, but if you want a little extra safety and security, feel free to throw on your headlamps.
Yeah, Huxley definitely would.
Smokey would, now looking around at our surroundings, he would put some of his not go for the explosives, but he will
Double fisted, walks in with 2 grenades. All right, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I look around.
C4 in either hand.
The ceiling's 8 feet high and the walls are 6 feet across. He puts anything that could go boom away. So I forget what we called it. We did call it a flamer, but I know that's probably not the correct.
I'm pretty sure. I think that is. It's close enough, at least. That's what Smokey can call it. That works.
It's canon now.
Yeah, I was having flashbacks there for a minute. So he will pull out his flame emitting weapon, just to have it handy. It's not sparked up or anything, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Huxley gets behind the 2 of them, like naturally as we're walking, right? Like he just kind of shuffles behind and says, "What do you think? Are we going to be okay? What happens if they attack us? Are we going to be able to get back out?"
So I think the way it did end is Smokey knows that this was triggered by him, or Huxley told Smokey. So I think, Smokey knows, right? So
yep.
Smokey will look over and just say, well, we got in because of the information we brought with us. So whatever this thing was, or whoever was here, was either expecting us or expecting someone like us. So I guess it gave me a ping and I pinged back correctly, and he kind of shrugs his shoulders.
He timidly raises up the pistol and he's like, we're not going to need this, right? I mean,
Zuchy reaches behind him and points the gun off to the side instead of behind his back, and is like, "You'll be fine as long as you know how to, protect yourself in the right way."
Hopefully they want to talk first, right? I mean, they did let us in.
No, I really hope they just want to fight us first. I really hope they just want to, guns blazing. We'll just, go down here and just, here we are, just ducks in the pond. Love that. Huxley, of course we want to talk first.
Huxley blanches as you're saying that.
Stop scaring the kid. It's going to be all right. This is where the coordinates
I was kidding, obviously. Jeez, Huxley, you should know my nuances by now. Boy, my accent has gotten particularly southern tonight, and I'm gonna stick with it.
It could be the stress, Mr. Zuchy.
Yes, that's probably it. You are so smart. You are one of the smartest boys that I know.
You probably know plenty of smart people, Mr. Zuchy.
Oh, you would not. You would be surprised. You'd be very surprised.
Zuchy looks over to Smokey and his eyes dart away real quick.
He just shakes his head.
Yeah, does a little shake of the head. So Smokey will say, obviously this is the coordinates we were given. I'm not looking for us to get into a shootout, even though Zuchy seems to be, and it kind of looks at him with a smirk.
Again, joking.
Smokey smiles at him. So we weren't going to be able to make it back. So let's be friendly at first. Make sure we get ourselves in a position as if we do have to make a quick break, that we won't be running some charger cables over to Huxley and him dragging us along. So let's at least give it a few hours to find out what's going on and who's here. And, we did come out here for a reason, to get paid. So I'd like for all of us to get paid for the trip we made and the stress we went through.
Huxley reholsters the pistol. He's just kind of like looking around.
So as you go down the ramp, it almost like a stairwell, but it's wide, probably about 8 or so feet. You're almost in like an 8x8 box that's going down, and it does kind of go down, flatten out, turn around, go down, flatten out, turn around, and it seems to be at a gradual enough decline that you don't have a hard time walking down it, and it looks like maybe even like vehicles or things like that could have a fairly easy time getting up and down as well. And as you make probably your fourth turn, you begin to go down and you turn around and you see that there is actually light at the bottom. It looks fairly bright, and that kind of, that pure white halogen look to it, like that pure white LED light that's just too unnatural, is down at the bottom as this ramp kind of ends in what you think is either a super wide hallway or a large room.
So there wasn't anything that came out. We didn't see any, I was going to say doors, but there's no ingress or egress in the hallway going down or the pathway down. It's just
correct.
We have to walk. Smokey will look over and say, I guess we're walking into the light. So let's hope it turns out better than we expect. And he'll keep marching down.
I hesitate ever so slightly as they turn the corner. And then when those shots ring out, presumably, then he follows.
Presumably.
No, and speaking of no shots, as you start to head down the final leg of the ramp, when kind of the ceiling begins to clear, you can actually see a person standing at the bottom of the ramp. As you begin to descend a little bit, you see them kind of like from the feet up, and as you go down, you get a little bit more of a glimpse of them. It's hard to tell whether they're male or female. They're dressed in not a hazmat suit per se, but like, those like head to go uni gowns. They have like the hood and everything like that, and they come all the way down to full arm, full leg. White, some reflectors, like reflector tape on it. Even like their shoes are covered with like little booties.
It was like a Tyvek suit almost.
What was that?
Well, Tyvek suit, like that kind of
Sure.
papery plastic.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Probably something you're used to, John.
I mean, I don't have to wear them, but yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Them on site.
Yep. And as you begin to see them, they're wearing like safety glasses, and they're holding a tablet.
So does this look industrial or does it look medical?
Hard to tell yet. It could definitely go one way or the other.
But it's that vibe, right? It's the
Yes.
And that's what they're known for.
Yeah, I was going to say I think I spelled it wrong, but it did come up with something. So that's what I was picturing from the description.
So the answer is, does it look industrial or medical? The answer is yes.
Industrial. Well, because that was it this area, or was it the last one? I can't remember that it was the medical.
It's this one.
It's this one.
It's this
Yeah.
one. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't confusing it. Okay.
Yep.
So Smokey will kind of stop when he sees the person, and So he's put any kind of offensive looking things he had in his hand back, and he kind of puts his hands outside, but he's not like cop or anything, but he sticks his arms out and just says, "Hey friend, do we need to stop walking, or can we keep coming closer to you?"
I bump into Zuchy. When you stop, he stops, and then I just kind of bump into the back of Zuchy. oh, sorry, Mr. Zuchy.
Careful.
And you see the person just kind of standing there, and they're tapping their foot a little bit, and they see that you've stopped, and so they kind of take a couple of steps up the ramp, and like wave you in.
I'll turn my head to look back to Zuchy and Huxley and kind of Smokey will shrug his shoulders and just say, "We kind of don't have anywhere else to go, guys. What do you think?" Feet tapping is kind of a universal symbol, so I think we either fish or cut bait. So what are you guys thinking?
I'm not sure what you mean, but you said we should talk to them, so we should probably keep going, right? I mean, they didn't shoot us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have much of a choice.
So Smokey will, kind of nod his head and then start walking. He won't speed. He'll go a little bit faster, but he's not going to like sprint over. But he'll pick up his pace a little bit, non-threateningly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean they're probably only about 15 or so feet, 15, 20 or so feet away from you. So, yeah, you take a handful of steps and you're there.
And while Smokey's kind of walking just with his arms kind of out to the side, and he'll kind of flip his arm back around. I forget which on this. Flip his arm back around and kind of show his wrist where the display was with the coordinates, and say, I'm here to pick something up to take back with me."
And so they'll actually take the tablet, reach over, bring it next to your data pad, and basically like RF signal, like it picks up. You hear a boop in your headset, and they look at it, and then they look at you and go, like, point at their head.
Point at their head. So they're not speaking at all, and they can hear me, right?
I mean, we
Then
do
they
have
mime
external
you,
speakers, yeah.
taking a...
I said
Do
we
you
do
have
have
external
external
speakers?
You
do?
I think so. No?
I thought we did before because we've. I don't know if
I know we could talk to each other.
I don't know if we've ever done an external.
Yeah, all three of you have a comm system.
Okay.
I would imagine you could turn it externally, right? Because
Really? Oh.
I don't know. Maybe
My
that's
assumption
something
was
we
that
need
you
to-
hadn't.
Okay, well maybe that's something that we need to consider. Well, you need to
Maybe.
consider for the rules then if the
Okay.
comm system does like have that external, right? Because you can never
Yeah.
talk to anybody in the burnt that you ran across then,
Right?
which seems unlikely.
True.
I don't know. Whatever.
So,
All right. Well, so let's say, for sake of argument, right now, you have external, and then you also have like mics outside that you can listen to the stuff around you.
and I mean, he's miming taking his helmet off, so Smokey's going to take his helmet off. Smokey will take his helmet off.
All right, and when you do,
Die.
they kind of tilt their, like, you see them kind of like lift an eyebrow and look at you, and then they say, "You are not who I expected."
Huxley starts shooting.
They don't say they're not backing away. They're not doing it. They're just kind of surprised.
We are doing this as a kind of favor / job for a bartender friend of ours who gave us these coordinates saying she was expecting something that still hadn't reached her, and she kind of seemed to think that it was time was of the essence.
Yes, I see. You're carrying the ID certification of Marla, and they like pick the tablet up to read off of it. Like Marla of Ingram, correct?
Correct.
Well, you have the verification code, so I suppose that we will be giving you access, and you can take whatever is in their storage locker.
In Marla's storage locker?
Yes.
So Marla has a storage locker here.
Yes.
Okay. Like, okay. Has anybody else recently come by to the storage locker sans Marla?
Oh, that is an incredibly vague question, but yes.
Okay.
Huxley raises his hand.
Yes, Huxley.
And she like kind of like shrugs a little bit and then like points at you and says yes.
Besides us. So
I guess he takes his helmet off and says, she told, I mean, I think, well, I don't know if Huxley would actually know that. Would you have told us that she had expected someone else to bring her something and they didn't?
Yeah, I
don't
think
know that I would know that.
when I explained it to you, I said Marla was expecting something and it hadn't shown up yet.
Okay.
So she was a bit antsy. So we didn't know if it was because of the people that were in the bar that I was describing to you, or if it's she seemed like the time was of the essence.
Okay. So then he like puts his hand back down and he says, Miss Marla, she told us that well, somebody else was supposed to come and then they didn't. So I think that's why Mr. Smokey asked, because if someone else took it, and then it won't be here for us to take it back. Right?
That does make sense why you're here then. She does have somebody who does regular pickups for her. And according to the schedule, they were supposed to be here 6 days ago.
Oh. They didn't show up?
They did not.
We didn't.
Zuchy takes his helmet off and he says, so when's the last time you seen this fella or lady or other person come here?
Personally, I don't know. According to the schedule, they had done their last pickup 23 days ago.
So Smokey's just, thinking in his head, okay, Marla has a mailboxes, etc. here, and it looks like she gets some kind of delivery every couple of weeks. It seems,
Sherry's berries, probably.
Yeah, Sherry's
Let's get all of the podcast tropes.
I was gonna say, do we have
commercials
podcast?
you usually hear on those? Yeah, exactly.
She's gotta get her Blue Buffalo
and all that stuff.
Harry's razors.
Yep.
Blue Chew.
I use Harry's razors. Wait, full stop. I use Harry's razors. I've been using them for years. They're the best fucking razors I have ever used, and they're super cheap.
When I signed
There
up
you go.
for it, they, as you can tell from the video, I signed up and they said, "What are you going to use this for? Shaving your face, or your head?" And I said, "For my head." They said, well, we don't sell them for that, so they're not marketed for that. And it was pretty much like a disclaimer. look, if you take them for that, we're not guaranteed. No, they're really, really good. Anyways, I agree with you.
Hey, after you shave with your Harry's razor, do you put on your Bombas socks and MeUndies? Is that?
Exactly. We did it. We hit all of them, guys.
And then
Send us all the money, all of those companies.
And then, of course, you have to have your daily serving of AG1. That's
is that green shit?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Smokey's processing this, right? Okay, so obviously there's some kind of Marla has some kind of hookup, or she gets some kind of thing. It kind of just clap his hands together and say, "Oh, okay, sounds good. Well, if you could just lead us to where Marla's storage area is, we'll be on our way, and give her an update on these missed connections she's been having."
Of course. First, I will just have to take you into the office so that we can get you registered. Just incredibly basic. We don't need any of your personal info. We'll just assign you a verification code. If you end up making another pickup again, it'll make the entire process much smoother. After that, I can take you to the storage area, and you can pick up whatever you would like.
Does that mean we won't get shot at next time if we have the codes? I think so. We might have broken the gun outside. We didn't mean to. We didn't know that.
Smokey's going.
I can probably reconnect it because I had to cut the cable. But
that's fine. The drones are out there taking care of it now.
Okay. He raises his hand again. Is it okay for us to have our helmets off because you're in that suit and like he kind of looks around?
Oh well, so even though they're in like the gown, like they're in the suit. They don't have a breathing apparatus or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
So their faces, it's covered from like the bottom of the chin to their forehead, and they have the safety glasses on, but they don't have their faces open.
Gotcha. Okay. He wouldn't say that then.
No. So yes, if you follow me, I'll get you set up, and then you can be on your way.
He starts to put it up and then puts it down and says, Mr. Smokey and Mr. Zuchy, they won't be able to make it back. Would it be possible for them to charge their suits up? Because they might get stuck and then it won't do us any good to have picked up whatever it was if we can't make it back.
And they kind of roll their eyes a little bit and like, yes, if you want, you can after we get you logged into the system, we have an area you can store your suits and have them charged while we get you set up.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, yeah, so I was just trying to think. Yeah, I'm assuming we'll all register, right? So I'll look back to, look over to Zuchy and Huxley and just say, I was just going to go register myself, but I guess it might be better. We don't want to, take advantage of their hospitality and kind of make them angry, and we kind of need some juice. So I'm guessing maybe we should all register so, as Huxley said, we don't get shot at when we're trying to leave. I just didn't know if either of you had any concerns about, going and registering or whatever.
No, it should be fine. That way they don't shoot us next time. I mean, assuming we come back, if Miss Marla doesn't
Huxley,
need us
you
to
just
do
gotta
anything,
you gotta keep your mind off the gun part. Like it's not all just shoot, blam, blam. I understand that whole thing was traumatizing what just happened there with the big gun coming at us and stuff like that, but it's not always gonna be like that.
It was very stressful.
I understand. I was stressed as well, but I also know that sometimes there's parts in life where you're not stressed. It's probably a very small percentage, but there is a time where there is non-stress in our life.
It's amazing what the human condition can be acclimated to, Mr. Zuchy.
That is true. I don't think I have time for this conversation right now, so we should probably do some other things like get our suits plugged in and see what's in that lock.
Okay, you're right.
We've kind of acclimated Huxley to being shot at when he's around us, so it's not surprising that's the way he's thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they'll escort you down the hallway for it's fairly short, ends in these large opaque glass sliding doors that they just walk up to, they open, walk through, and it opens into what looks like a cross between like a hospital and a in like a lab facility, right? So you have kind of this open plan, centralized desks in the center area. You see some workstations, some labs, doors off to the side where you can see some are offices because most of it's glass all around, so you can see into with there's people working, there's people doing chemistry stuff, working with like fire and Bunsen's, right? And you also see like industrial people, like people carting around like pallets with boxes on them and like sealed plastic and metal crates, just shuffling all that around. And everything here is almost sterile looking, right? Like you get the faux wood around the desks, but white finish on top, white walls, that pure white halogen light coming from everywhere. And even looking through the windows, like through the glass into the offices, the walls almost appear to be, they have what look to be windows with like scenic views. You see some trees and grass and some hills and things like that, which you're probably at least 100 or so feet underground. So
Zuchy and Smokey each grab an arm of Huxley and drag him through because I'm sure he's
he starts to wander immediately. His eyes get real big, and he starts to be like, "Oh, what's
Right,
exactly? What do they do?
Yep.
They've had this kind of burners or whatever."
Yeah, but yeah, like down here, you see dozens of people, and they're all wearing pretty much that exact same, quote unquote uniform of the paper gown with the hood and the safety glasses and the tape and the booties and no faces covered, no hands covered, anything like that. There are some people, like obviously some of the people dealing with liquids and materials and things have gloves on, but for the most part, no hands, no faces covered. Some people have hard hats on, but yeah, you see it's a very kind of sterile, uniform environment that you're in right now.
So Smokey will kind of whisper to Huxley, I'm sure you're paying attention to everything around here, but it may be good if you kind of remember some details and names of things and what's all going on here, because someone may ask, or it may be worth something to someone about what's going on here.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I was just so impressed with the amount of stuff that they had. If we could have stuff like this at the hospital, we could treat so many more people.
If that would, yeah, if a lot of this stuff looks like it's more medical, things like that, yeah, just make sure you keep a running list of kind of everything you see. call it Huxley's wish list. We'll see what we can do with that.
He flips the camera on, and then just continues to kind of ogle and look around. But now he's recording.
Nice.
Yeah.
So is Huxley now? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Kurt.
Yeah, I just wanted to add before I forget, like, I would still, like, hush tones, like, tell the guys, like, we also have to remember whatever this other guy that was trying to pick this stuff up for probably was killed for it or was accosted for it. So we have to be careful who we're telling about this stuff.
Well, I mean, we don't have to tell anybody. I mean, Miss Marla knows because she sent us, but then we wouldn't have to tell anybody else because we're working for her.
So wait a minute. So you just said that we don't have to tell anybody, but you automatically just said that you're going to tell Miss Marla about it right away.
We need to talk to Miss Marla and find out what's going on. I think that's we may not need to tell her all the nice things that Huxley's ogling his eyes at, but we do have to get some more information from Miss Marla when we get back. But it would be good just to get a tally of kind of what's here, because this isn't what I was expecting.
Yeah, well, obviously the information that she has gotten her into some deep water, so we'll have to be careful about what we see and what we've gathered here.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's still a missing piece to this story that a lot more questions have popped up since we've been here. We knew something happened to someone. I didn't know this was kind of a regular delivery route, and if that's the case, then we need some more concrete details from Miss Marlowe when we get back.
All right, so Huxley has his camera turned on and everything now. Are you relying on the camera, or are you also kind of actively looking around?
If they don't have me horse collared, he is actively looking around.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would
like the crow type thing where he's just, fascinated by all of the things that are happening. So he's just like, face up to the glass. Like, oh, look at that. Oh, what are they doing over here? Like, he would just be out loud, right? Because he doesn't,
All right,
and then we're like the parents at a Lego store. Like, come on now, Huxley, we gotta go see these things now.
But I can help. I could probably help.
I'm sure you could.
So
let's not break anything. We still haven't gotten what we came for yet.
Huxley, why don't you go ahead and give me a brains roll? So you're gonna give me a brains test. Everything, not everything is like out in the open, right? And they kind of have their codes written on things. So let's go ahead and make this a DL5.
I have med tech and biology. Could I use either one of those?
Sure.
If it's medical, right? Like if they're and I also have mechanics and electronics, right? So like you got all the bases covered.
Right.
That is going to be a 6 on the dot.
All right.
5 + 1, 6.
There you go. So you're kind of looking around and the processes that they're using, and you notice some of the chemicals that they're, you're smart enough that like the molecular makeup of a lot of these chemicals, right? So you're able to see, there's a lot of like iodized sodium and magnesium and like a bunch of, let's see, I have some other stuff written down that I used for things and stuff.
I'm writing them down.
Yeah, you don't have to write them all down.
Oh, okay.
But you're seeing a bunch of various chemicals that are often used to treat radiation poisoning.
Okay.
So we're also going twofold on this. So that is what you get from your looking around and with your medical training. All right. You also, as you're kind of looking, there's, you're kind of like up against like not literally up against a window looking in, but like you're kind of
Maybe, you don't
looking and
know.
you're
Exactly.
right. Yeah, very true. You're looking at one of the labs, and you maybe like get a little too close, tap the glass or something like that. You make a little bit of noise, and the tech inside kind of like whips around, and he sees you, and he like gives you this disgusted look, and he taps the glass, and it like goes opaque, right? But as like in the moment before he turns around and the glass goes white, you catch like a brief glimpse, and it's difficult because he's wearing goggles and the whole hood thing and everything. You can only see a very general part of his face. You could have sworn he looks kind of familiar. You can't quite place it. It's like when you see somebody out and about outside of normal circumstances, you're like, oh, do I know that person, or is just coincidence? And so you could have sworn that you've seen this person before, but you can't quite place where you know them from.
Okay.
That would be just Huxley, right?
Just Huxley, yep.
Okay.
Is that something that I can make a roll on later to like remember, or like is that the like I see somebody I kind of
That's it for
remember,
now.
but then I can't. Yeah. Okay. That's
Yeah.
fine. He doesn't say anything, but like when the guy like turns around, like taps the glass, he like steps back, like oh shit, and like then he kind of sidles back over to the other two,
Yep.
like oh shit, I got
Yeah,
in
that's
trouble.
when you realize they're like 8 feet up. They're like they kept walking.
Oh, wait up.
Yeah, so you walk for about a minute until you get to this office looking area. There's a handful of people sitting behind computers. They're all wearing like VR, like HoloLens like headsets, gesturing, doing a bunch of data entry and all that kind of stuff. And this your host kind of walks up to a desk, grabs a reader, almost like a scanner off of it, and says, "Okay, if you could please come over here."
I will walk over to where they direct me. Take a look back to make sure Huxley's caught up to us and hasn't gotten in trouble for anything. And kind of look at Zuchy and kind of say he looks like he's having fun. So he's got a big goofy smile on his face, I'm assuming. So I'll just walk over to wherever they pointed me to.
So yeah, if you walk up to them, they take the wand and they say, "I am going to scan you with this. It will ask for you to accept the connection, and at that point, it will transfer a code over to you. This code is what our system will register when you come here next, if you come here next."
Smokey just shrugs and sounds fine with me. He says go for it.
So, yeah, all you have to do is just accept the connection and then accept the program, and we are all set. And so they literally take the wand and they put it near you, and all of a sudden you hear the bing in your headset.
Do I have to say or do anything, or
Like literally, you look at your data pad and it has like basically a EULA on it, and scroll, and at the bottom it says accept or decline.
I never read any of these, and then just Smokey's not a fine print kind of guy, so yeah, he just goes ahead and accepts it.
There you go. And then and then they hold up the wand and they go, anybody else?
I was gonna make a joke and look at the guys and say, if I blow up, you guys run, but I don't think. Everything's been going.
Zuchy would come right up, would go right up right away and scan it. He's got nothing to hide.
Yep. Yeah, and same thing. They take the wand, they kind of wave it near you. You hear the ping in your headset.
Yep. After those
and
two
then
do
same
it.
thing. Yep.
I would do it too. That doesn't seem like anything bad happened. So
yeah,
he doesn't want to get shot coming back. So.
All right, and I will say, you've mentioned, so I know obviously, joking, but I will say the one thing that you have not seen at all is any type of like security, or like there's no firearms. There's not even like a taser or anything like that. Like
I don't know that Huxley would clock it. Smokey might.
Yeah. So not to go too out of whatever, but something popped out of the ground and was shooting at us. So I guess Kevin's thought would be, well, if there's and they mentioned drones and stuff, we are in the future. I would assume that shit somewhere that they don't want it to be seen, right? We are in a work area and it looks like a lab area.
Right.
You want MPs marching around with guns. So I think to Smokey's mind, it would just be, yeah, there's probably something there. If I start going crazy, that something's going to take me down, right? I mean,
it's like they have a fire system and a security system. In case of fire, the sprinklers drop out and start spraying water. And in case of security, turrets drop from the ceiling and just start firing.
I mean that to me, my thought would be, something popped out of the ground and started shooting at us until it read that I had the coordinates on. So I think to Smokey, it would just be, yeah, this is like a big fancy place, but big fancy places can afford fancy security, right? You don't.
That is true.
Guys with clubs standing around. So.
All
right. So yeah, once. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say after Huxley gets, all three of us get scanned. Huxley just says, I know that maybe you weren't expecting us to have to charge the suits up, and you look like maybe you were a little upset, but maybe I could help. It looked like I have some medical experience, so maybe we could trade. I could maybe help if that would offset the burden of having us stay.
No offense, but everybody here is very well trained and has their specific duties that they perform. Thank you for the offer. However, unless you're trained on our specific system with our specific equipment, I don't see how you would be a help. Also, I don't plan on you staying. I'm not sure what you thought this arrangement was going to be. But
well, no, I mean, not like stay, but I mean, the suits have to charge. So, if we're going to be here for a little, do you have something that you need maybe for us to take back to Ingram to make a to help with the?
No, we're fine. Trust me.
Okay. Because I thought that maybe that.
So Smokey will go and put his arm around Huxley and kind of pull him away and say, now that we know Marla has a regular schedule, we'll make sure we stay on our good side, that we can come back and visit more often. Kind of, put his arm around him and tap him on the shoulder. Like a friendly, come on, it'd be good. Don't worry, we'll come back. We promise. If you're good, we'll come back again. That kind of vibe.
Yeah. He lets himself be led away. Like now, he just feels kind of dumb.
No, I think if Smokey sees that Huxley is that way, he'll kind of lean over and say, "That's why I told you to remember everything. It's here because I know how important this is, and I know how important this is to you. So we'll definitely be back, and I'm still trying to figure out what this place is and what it's for. And me and Zuchy will probably need your help on that because we don't know what any of this stuff is. So we may have something to pass the time on the way back, trying to put some puzzle pieces together on what the hell's going on here."
He does say to you then in hushed tones, if we've kind of moved away from the table.
Yeah, I figured we were walking
the person
away.
that was there. He says, in one of the labs there was somebody. He looked familiar. I couldn't quite place them. And then he kind of I guess where's his camera on the helmet? So I guess maybe he was holding the helmet then. Well, he was looking at all the stuff. I did get a picture because I'm recording. Maybe we can look later.
So Smokey's kind of taken aback by that because I think Smokey was just assuming that Huxley would just do the mental recording, and actually Smokey's a bit shocked that no one's come up and smashed Huxley's helmet. So he'll kind of look surprised for a minute, and then he'll smile and say, "That's actually a good move, but maybe turn it off now that you've got the info. You got the stuff walking this way. Walking back will just double it up, and we don't want to make anybody mad. So why don't you turn that recording off for a minute?"
Oh, okay, good idea.
Yeah. So
and then he'll kind of turn and fumble, turn the stuff off.
Smokey was a bit surprised whenever Huxley started recording. I was waiting for all those hidden security to come out when he did that, but we made it this far, so don't take any chances.
Yeah, so then by this time they lead you into another area of the building, and it is almost like a large locker room, right? And it's not specifically set up for your suits. It looks more industrial, more warehouse-like. So, there actually are for skids and for drones and things like that, and various robots. There's charging ports and wires kind of running, and it looks more like a place for storage and recharging of their various equipment that they use for assistance in transportation.
I've got an electronics pro kit. Do I happen to have the appropriate cord, or can I make? I don't
110
want
or 220.
Yeah, I don't want to modify anything really. I don't want to change anything.
It's
going to fuck stuff up. But is there a way that I can?
Well, so in fact, as you're you kind of look and you're like, oh, and you pull out your kid and you start kind of looking through and you're like, and they walk over with a case, and when they open it up, there's just probably about 7 or 8 different adapters, plug adapters in this case, and say whichever one will fit your ports, you can take it. There are, and they point to the wall, and there's almost like gas station pumps. There's the cables hanging from the ceiling on the hooks. They're all kind of extendable. And they say you can attach it to any of the cables. Feel free to charge your suits here. Just and she turns to Smokey and says, "I believe you are the one with the HSD with the Marla's code on it."
Yep, that's me. Can I just leave these guys here? I guess you want me to follow you.
Oh, well, all we need is the HSD. So if you want to take that out of your suit, then you can just leave your suit here and bring that with you. We just need verification for the code in order to open up the lockbox.
So I'll look to Zuchy and Huxley and just say, yeah, why don't you guys get a bit of rest and get charged up? I'll be right back, unless you guys want to come. Smokey was just assuming he'll go do it because, he was the one that took it on. He doesn't want to, he's not trying to be sneaky, but, he'll say, I'll go take care of it if you guys want to stay here unless you guys want to come. He'll be taking his suit off and pulling the HSD out.
I could watch the suits if you want to go too, Mr. Zuchy. I could get topped up too. I mean, I can wait.
Zuchy just basically like, well, I think Smokey's got this. Yeah, why don't you go ahead? I'm gonna stay here with old Hux. We'll sit here by the old suits.
Okay, and then I'll hang my suit up and ask Huxley. Make sure you get me charged up too. I'm the one that always has the least amount of battery, so you don't want to be dragging me back. So make sure I get all topped up, and I'll kind of wink and then start following the other person.
All right. So yeah, I'm assuming all three of you get out of your suits in order to charge them, or are you standing there against the wall charging your suit?
No, I'd get out because then I would give him a once over, right? I'd make sure that everything was hooked up right. I'd start going over, tweaking, to make sure everything is working the way that it should.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right, so yeah, so the three of you kind of take off the suits and plug them in, and then Smokey follows her. And so go through one set of doors, leads into a hallway, pretty short, and at the end, there's basically a rack with, those big soundproofing headphones. There's basically a few dozen of them hanging up on the wall there, and she grabs one. She grabs two and hands one to you.
Okay, this is Smokey's a bit weirded out. He wasn't expecting any of this, right? The way it sounded, he was going to pick up the briefcase and head back. So he'll kind of look around a bit confused and say, should I put these on?
It can get fairly noisy in there if you're not acclimated to the environment.
Okay. So Smokey was just thinking he was going to sit down and listen to something, so he puts them on, and now he feels a bit dumb. He's like, oh, whatever. I've come this far. I'm not going to stop now. So it hasn't got too weird yet.
Right. And so, yeah, she then walks up, and she puts her headphones on. She walks up. With this one, she actually takes her data pad and puts it up next to this black sensor box against the doors. And as soon as the doors begin to open, even through the headphones, you can kind of hear this dulled, I'm not going to say it's not a banging sound, but it's repetitive, and it basically sounds like if you're laying underneath a highway, right? Just constant traffic and wheels and bumping. What was that?
I said like you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You guys have never hung out underneath a highway bridge before? You just lay there listening to the sound? No? All right. So yeah, it just even through the headphones, you can tell if these weren't on, this would be deafeningly loud. And when you walk through, it looks like a warehouse. Racks 50 feet tall, just cement wall, like dark gray cement walls. There's like forklifts and skids and drones and like golf cart looking things just speeding every which way all down these aisles going to and from.
So is this like? Does it look like this is like a? So whatever they're doing upstairs is they're making something, and then does this look like this is where it's all stored, or
Quite possibly, yeah.
Okay, so it is kind of a warehousey,
Yeah.
shelves and
Oh yeah, and even you see workers here. You see people.
people.
For the most part, everything in the warehouse looks either autonomous or remote controlled. Though, things are just moving way too quick for a regular person to deal with. So you see people standing off to the side with a harness and a remote control system, wearing goggles, or you see people kind of sitting around at computers or just standing around, making notes on a tablet. And unlike the kind of hospital sterile uniforms that everybody was wearing before in the labs, everybody here is wearing those like work jumpers, like a mechanic almost. So you got that tan with the orange stripes, and everyone has a hard hat and the headphones on and everything.
So to Smokey, he wouldn't be super. He'd look around and just say, "Okay, this is either a warehouse where stuff's stored, or like the end product of what they're doing, or the materials or whatever." So he'll just kind of be just moseying along. He won't be like Huxley was, paying attention to everything or taking it all in. He'll just
Right. Yep.
This is where a bunch of stuff's stored, and it's loud as hell. And he'll just he'll just go through. He'll look around, but he won't be like super attentive to what everything is, other than not walking into anything or anything running into him.
Right. And yeah, I mean, she keeps you off the floor, right? It's kind of like hugging, you're off to the side where people are allowed to walk, and there's a fairly large
walking
platform
on the green
for people.
line that goes
Right,
goes
exactly.
around the equipment. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And yeah, brings you over, probably about 30 or so feet off, just on like a side of this warehouse area is this wall and a half of these large, like 3-by-7-foot doors that look like basically oversized lockers. And each one has like a little, similar to the black scan pad that she used to open the door. All of these lockers have that similar pad attached to them.
Okay.
And then there's like a little ID number, like a locker, like an A5 or a C31, like, except these are like long string codes.
Yeah. So I'm guessing I'm just going to walk up to the one that I have for Marla, right?
Yeah.
Or
And she told you which one, but I, for the life of me, can't remember the number of it. But I'm going to say that you have it written down.
Yeah.
It makes sense if you do.
And I think they mentioned it upstairs, too. I think they did mention it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's coded into the cube, right? I mean, so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so they basically, they stop and just kind of gesture to you to go ahead. And so, yeah, you can easily kind of, you're like walking down the line, looking at the numbers, and you're like, no, and eventually you find the one.
Smokey would go up and, he'll go a bit slowly, right? Because obviously this is valuable and we got to get it back, but he's not expecting it to jump out at him or anything. So
right, yeah.
He'll go ahead and do whatever activation he needs to open it up.
Yeah. So literally all you have to do is just take your little cube, and you put it near it, and you see a little green light that comes up on the pad, and you hear the locker unlock, and the door kind of starts to swing open a little bit.
And I'll make sure the door doesn't swing into me, and wait for
yeah, it's one of those, like, it just, like, it unlock, the latch is no longer activated, so it kind of, like, slowly kind of just props open a couple of inches.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'll go ahead.
Yeah,
I'll go ahead and prop it open and stick my hands in without looking.
And so there's this kind of 7 foot tall, 3 foot wide door. This stainless steel. You open up the door. You look into the compartment. It's about 4 feet deep, and there is, in this massive storage locker, a box that's probably about 8 inches by 8 inches by 10 inches.
Okay, so it's pretty small then.
Yeah, it's like pretty tiny.
So it wasn't the
And
person
that is literally the only thing. What was that?
It wasn't the person missed the delivery. He's not like hiding out in there like a...
Nope. Okay. No, and even you open, as soon as the locker opens, there's a little light that turns on inside, and you open it up, and literally this is like the only thing, this massive compartment in this small little box just sitting in the bottom.
Smokey will see how far it is, like a refrigerator, till the light goes out, so he'll do that a little bit.
Right.
Just scooping around in there. He's a bit underwhelmed by what's in there, and he's like, well,
Yeah.
what the hell this thing is, so he'll go in and go to pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah, and it feels solid. It feels like it's probably like a very rigid plastic that's pretty much wrapped in parchment. Like a brown paper almost.
Okay.
Doesn't feel too heavy. Maybe like 3 or 4 pounds.
So I'm assuming the person that came down with me is still there?
They waited off at the beginning.
Okay.
They kind of, once they got to the storage area, just kind of gestured you through, and you can look over, and they're on their tablet looking at some stuff.
Okay, so Smokey will pick it up, go and swing the door closed, and do whatever he has to do to, I guess, re-engage it, or I'm assuming maybe once you push it back in, it locks by itself. And
Yep. Yeah, once you close it, you see a red light pop up. It stays there for about a second and then turns off.
Okay, so 8 by 8 by 10. So probably can't hold that one in. So he'll have it in like both his hands, right? And he'll be walking over back to the person and just say, do you have any idea what this is? I don't know what this is, and maybe I'm not supposed to, but do you know what it is?
No clue.
Okay. Is this the same kind of thing Marla gets all the time?
I don't know. We don't keep track of that. I know when people check in and out. That's all I know. What gets picked up, it's completely up to them.
Okay. So I want this to be Smokey. I don't want this to be Kevin, right? So I don't want to be... But, so I guess Smokey would just kind of stop and look around and just say, okay, can you tell me what this place is? I'm a bit confused. I thought I was going out in the middle of some wasteland somewhere to find a transponder coordinate and pick up something. I wasn't expecting to be in this place, whatever this place is. What is this place?
We are a medical research and development facility.
Okay, well that, to Smokey, that makes sense, right? Because the understanding we had was, this was a medical area, or it was focused on, I guess, that kind of thing. Are you guys affiliated with anybody, or are you like your own thing out here? Is this like your own live out here, work out here kind of place, or are you attached to somebody?
Oh, we are completely self-sustained.
Okay. So it's its own little... Well, I guess Ingram is kind of too, right? So the Smokey will be, okay, it's a medical place. I'm assuming I'm taking some medical stuff back to Marla. Huxley got a bit of a thrill looking around and seeing everything. Zuchy got the punch a few things, and so far it's been successful. So Smokey will be happy, have a smile on his face, and kind of walk, say thank you and head back up to where the other two guys are.
Yeah.
Everything's going really good. So Smokey's happy, but he's also got that little bit of lingering. Well, we did do pretty good missing some pretty nasty shit, so
Yeah.
it could have been worse, but so far so good.
Yeah, and so as you you basically grab it, and where you can see the big orange door from what you came through. And so the two of you start walking back. You get to the door. She goes to bring her tablet up. Before you actually get to the door, it opens, and there's another worker on the other side, already kitted up. So she's got her work jumper on, got the helmet on, got the goggles on, got her head, her headphones on. But you can see that when she has them on, she kind of has them like lifted up slightly, so they're not actually covering her ears. And as she kind of gets startled a little bit. And she looks at you, looks at the other person, mouths something. But when she does that, she actually makes a hand gesture, basically of going like from her temple and like pulling down, and then like bringing it into her other hand.
Okay, am I not good at?
And well, I'll tell you. You recognize the hand signal. It means sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
You notice it from when you used to work in the mines, and the workers kind of came up with their own little, basically like their own sign language.
Okay. So I'm assuming then I will know for what the hell are you talking about, or for what, so
Yeah.
Smokey will kind of sign back, because I don't recognize this person, do I?
Give me a brains check.
Is it like an awareness?
There. Kind of, yeah.
Not going to help, John. It doesn't.
It's so unlike with Huxley, this person, does have a safety hat on, right? But she's not wearing a gown, or face isn't really covered. It's like if you saw John in public with a baseball hat on, like you'd still recognize that it was him, right? So let's say a DL 3.
3.
Oh, that's a yes, but.
Okay.
Yeah. So you look at this person. You look at this. You look at this woman. She looks like she's probably in her she's young, like late teens, early 20s. And you look at her and you're like, man, you look familiar, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't quite place the name.
So I will.
It's tough, she does have her hair's kind of pulled up behind her. So
if we do have this kind of, this nonverbal language, I guess there is just a way, to Smokey will look at her kind of questioningly and, say, so he did say, sorry for what, and then that was where the roll was. So I guess he'll wait to hear back for the what for answer that she said sorry.
And yeah, she basically just she signs back for startling you, and then kind of gives you a little bit of a wink, and then heads into the warehouse.
Okay. Smokey and Kevin are both very confused right now. Is John's look he's confused or he's mad at Kevin for not remembering?
No, I PM'd you. I'm metagaming, which we don't ever do.
I'm sorry. I just blew up your spot. Okay, so Smokey will just kind of.
The only reason I even said so I messaged Kevin and said, sign where did you learn that? Because if every site has its own sort of hand signals or language or whatever, and you recognize what she's signing to you, then ostensibly you were at some place before Ingram or she was at Ingram and left, right? I mean, that's what I get out of it, but that's like me as a player.
Yeah.
Thinking.
Well, how about this? I'll give. Nah, never mind. I'm not going to do it.
Right. And feel free to ignore that. I'm metagaming. Yeah. We don't usually do that, but like sometimes it's hard in the moment.
Well,
to be I should.
Yeah. I'd say she did. She was in a little bit of a hurry. She is going to work, right? She's going to her shift. Yep. So like there was that very quick exchange, and then she left.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything that was so blatantly obvious that everybody's gonna be pissed at me that I missed.
Oh,
right?
no.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So so let's just play it out as Smokey being the big dumb old idiot he is.
Yeah.
And so he'll have the thing in his hands and he'll be walking back up to where Zuchy and Huxley were, unless there's anything along that way, Jesse.
No, it's literally like a 20-foot hallway, and then you're in the storage area that Huxley and Zuchy are in.
Okay, so he'll have the thing in his hand and just say to Huxley, you said you thought you recognized someone, and someone just recognized me, but I didn't recognize them. So I don't know what's going on here. This is kind of a weird place. He'll go kind of set the thing down on a table or something near the two guys and just say, this is what we came for. Do you have any idea what the hell this thing is?
I mean, you're the one that normally talks to Miss Marla. I mean, whatever it is, it's hers. So, I mean, if the locker open, then I guess that's all that matters. If you recognize somebody, I mean, that is kind of weird, right? Because, like, I know people leave Ingram sometimes, but it'd be weird that they came all the way out here. I mean, this isn't close, and I mean, it was a bit of a stretch for you guys to even make it. I mean, no one could get here without a suit.
So the person that Huxley saw was someone who was working there, right? It wasn't.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, it wasn't someone strapped down to a table and being
No.
Okay. Yeah. So that's weird that there's two people that. Yeah, but I guess it wouldn't be surprising, right? There was that, was it the scrub under the bridge, right? There was a bunch of people there, and some people we recognized or were known to Ingram or knew of Ingram. So I was going to say it's a small world. It really isn't, because you said it was quite of a haul to get here, but I don't think it would be surprising that, people move around. It's just I don't like having that itching in the back of your head that you recognize someone, but you can't actually place them. And then
Kevin.
Uh-huh.
Give me another brains roll. This time at a DL2.
Okay, and then I'll look over to Zuchy and just say, nobody recognized you, or you didn't recognize anybody, did you, Zuchy?
Nope. Just you two.
Okay, that's a 4.
All right.
Yes, and
Yes, and so as you're kind of you're kind of talking, you're kind of flipping stuff off your head, right? And you're like, I mean, there was that scrub underneath the bridge and all this kind of stuff. Then things click.
Oh, it was the
It was difficult because she looks a little older, and her hair was pulled back, face not quite as freckled from the sun, but that looked either weirdly like Lily or like if Lily had a sister that was a couple of years older.
okay, and that's who I gave the lighter to when we were under
Correct.
the bridge, at the scrub. Okay, and he'll kind of snap his fingers and go, "Oh, Lily under the bridge at the scrub, who I gave my lighter to. It looks like her. Looks like her, maybe a bit older. We haven't been. That wasn't that long ago, was it? No, it was only a little bit ago. But yeah, it kind of looks like
That was like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not a couple of years. I was gonna say a month. I couldn't remember, but yeah, it was one of those time frames. Okay, so that makes sense about the person you saw, Huxley. Does it look like anybody you remembered from at that scrub? Remember, everybody there seemed to be really young, except was it Dog, right? He was the only one that didn't look super young, and then some other runners we saw there, because I think Zuchy saw some runners there that he recognized from before. Yeah. So Huxley, do you think that person you saw was from that scrub?
I don't know. We only talked to a couple of people because we mostly were just in the like the cafeteria. I think you kind of went off on your own. If that's where you talked to that Lily person, she had a boyfriend or something, right?
Was it her boyfriend? The Dog was there, right?
I think I remember there being a couple because you came in and were talking to her, and then he came in and kind of gave you a ration of shit or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They were partnered up. You weren't sure if they were related or if they were in a relationship. He pretty much was pissed off that you were there and took off right away.
Okay.
But I don't.
I
saw him.
You interrupted him sitting in his lazy boy, smoking his cigar. So.
Okay.
But I don't think Huxley saw him. I mean, I don't
No, I
think
think
there
that was. Yeah.
I mean, the only other person that would stand out maybe to Huxley would be the guy that Zuchy fucked up,
Pointed out.
and then Huxley, quote unquote, saved, and then we left him.
Mm.
Would be the only person.
No, and I mean, Dog was a pretty big dude.
Yeah.
He sticks out.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect him to be working in a lab. Yeah, exactly.
No,
Yeah.
no. Yeah. Meta, no. Yeah, so unless he reminds me of the guy that was with the guy that I killed, I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Anything comes to mind.
Well, you do have the footage too. You were recording.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, I mean, I could show them later, but I'm not going to do it here.
Yeah. No. All right.
I don't think. Right. I mean, I guess if we were left unattended, I could show Zuchy, I guess.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. There's no one else here.
On. Yeah. So if we rewind a little bit, then while the suits are charging and everything looks like it's all squared away, maybe Huxley just says, there was that guy, he was in one of the labs and I got real close to the window and I kind of bumped on it a little bit, and then I think maybe I scared him, and then he got mad and then he like tapped the window and it went all dark so that I couldn't see, and that was the guy that I think that I saw that I knew maybe that looked familiar. Do you think maybe he looks familiar to you? And he just like holds the helmet out. Oh, wait. And then he looks for like a rag and he like wipes it all out and he hands it back to you again.
Well, I'll say just for meta purposes, only because a HUD is actually an upgrade that you can get. We'll say that it's like it basically it's like a little, you have that little screen as your readout, so it like plays back on the screen on the arm of your suit.
Okay, all right. And then he like, rewinds and fast forwards until he finds the spot in the thing and then freezes the frame.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you both taking a look, or are you handing this off to Zuchy to look at?
If it's on the arm of the suit, then I guess we could both see it, right? Like, we don't have to have the hood on. Or the helmet
right, yeah.
on.
Yeah. So go ahead. Give me a DL3 brains. This is going to be, it's a little easier because you can actually pause it and, take your time. So.
Is this both of us or just?
Both of you, yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that's a 5, baby.
Nice.
Wow. That's just a 2 for me.
That's a no butt for you. so yeah, with Zuchy, it's not somebody that looks familiar at all really to you. The face is kind of a blur with everybody else's face that you've seen over the last week or so. So you have a butt though. So there's something else in the footage that perhaps you can will catch your eye or your interest.
Yeah, how about like whatever that person is doing in that little hub, I know exactly what they're doing.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
I would have never thought of that. That's a good one.
Yeah, you actually see that they are you're not quite sure. You have a good idea why, but you don't know why, if that makes sense. You see them with some various isotopes and some borium that and it looks like they're actually mixing it in with plasma. Like separated from a person's blood plasma.
Okay.
You actually see like various vials of like O positive, O negative, AB, and he's mixing all that in. It's a process that they do with people to treat them for radiation sickness sometimes. But to not have the person there and to be doing it on like this scale is odd.
Okay.
Huxley.
Mm-hmm.
You like being able to freeze it, right? And kind of go frame by frame until you get like the perfect shot. You definitely recognize this person.
Who is it?
Give me a psyche check.
Uh-oh.
Let's make this. I don't want to screw you over.
Do it.
But it's going to be a DL6. So it's not going to be impossible.
I don't even have to roll and I know who this is.
It's the guy that you shot.
The guy that I shot?
Yeah. The guy that you shot that was very clearly dead. Not dead. No bullet wound in the forehead. Very much alive.
Ah! And like he just jumps back and I guess he was, I don't know if he had to like fuck with the helmet to like do the thing and like drops the helmet and like just like backs up and puts his hands up.
Yeah.
What did you see? What's happening?
Oh. That's that guy. It's the guy.
What is what guy? What guy? What do you mean?
He was dead. He was dead. No. Because I shot him.
Hold on. He's like putting his hand on Huxley's shoulder. He's like, okay, deep breaths. I need more information than he's dead. He's a guy. It's gonna be a lot more than that.
I want to do a thing.
Yeah, do the thing.
Oh, okay. Damn it. I rolled on the Cthulhu shock table, but I rolled double ones, so you managed to hold it together.
She's just like, it's the guy. It's the guy that I shot. The guy when he was shooting, and I said, "Don't shoot!" And then I shot him, and then I shot him in the head, and he was dead. And then the other guy, and then you stabbed him, but we took his helmet off, but then I did the thing, and I helped him, but then we left him, and then we came back, and he was gone, and the other guy was gone but he was dead, and he's gone, but that's the guy. It's him. It's the one, and he's like touching his nose.
And Zuchy's like, wait a minute, it can't be the guy. You killed him. There's no way that he's here.
It's him.
He's dead.
It's him. Nope. I know him because I saw him because I shot him, and then it was gone because his face and he's just like, oh, and he's not being quiet. Like he's just freaking out.
Jesse, do I know anything about? Is there like anything out there in the world about any kind of cloning at all or anything like that?
Yeah. Okay. But it's on a. Well, actually, go ahead. Give me a brains roll, and we'll do it graduated. So, however high you get is however good you get.
I was going to suggest graduated.
Got a 5.
Nice.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. So, there's cloning right now, right? Like we've done cloning now of animals. Project this 200 years in the future. It's happened, right? But it is, human cloning in the past was highly regulated and eventually outlawed because it just was not stable. And as far as like, especially like the world shut down for a while. So, cloning is a thing, but human cloning hasn't really, it hasn't come close to even being like perfected as far as
Okay. So basically I pull Huxley in like really close and I say, now Hux, just bear with me here. All that we've seen in this complex, we've seen trees, we've seen grass, we've seen all these things that we don't normally see all the time. With all the money that's probably going into whatever's happening here, there could be something where they have tried and successfully cloned people as well. My guess, if that was the same guy that you killed, instead of whitening out his little screen, my guess is he probably would have jumped out of that screen and tried to choke you to death.
You don't think it was him? Because it looked like him.
Well, let's just look at this. Look at it this way, okay? Okay, you've never been killed, right? But let's just say that somebody shot you really bad.
That guy hit me with a hammer really hard. My head hurt for a couple of days afterwards.
He did. Okay, so how did that make you feel?
It made me feel real bad. Because we didn't do anything to him, and then he tried to kill us, and then Miss Joanna was really mad, and then I threw up my helmet, and my head just hurt. It was really bad.
Yeah, so let's just say that for argument's sake, that this guy had been killed and then brought back to life somehow. Let's just say the bullet was taken out. They were able to revive him. Do you think that the first thing he would do would just be like, well, gotta go back to my day job? My guess is his first thing would be like, I'm gonna find that gentleman that did the thing to me, and I'm gonna exact my revenge or find a way to do that.
Well, why would he want to revenge on me? I told him not to do it, and he did it anyways. I said I was going to shoot him, and then...
I don't know if you know this, but this world is not exactly the nicest place. And sometimes things happen like that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess. So you don't think it was him? I mean...
I think it was a version of him. I don't think it was that exact person. I don't think you're going to want to go back and find out.
Maybe it's his brother. I mean,
it could be.
It could be, right? I mean, like maybe he's got like a twin or something, because it looks just like him, and it doesn't. It does. It kind of makes me feel bad because I didn't want to do it, but I mean, he was going to hurt you guys.
Exactly. You did it in self-defense. You did nothing wrong. People die all the time, unfortunately. It was not your fault. You were just protecting us and protecting yourself as well.
I mean, I guess. And he like kind of like, looks around to see if anybody's just like...
Let's say at this point you hear the doors open and you see Smokey come through with his guide close behind him.
Yeah.
And we'll say too, how about Smokey, for the sake of storytelling, he came to the realization that it's Lily, kind of like on the, like almost talking to yourself a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like on the walk into the room where Huxley and Zuchy are.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then like
they're there, and like Huxley is like sitting on the ground. Zuchy's kind of like hunched over him, kind of trying to console him. Like,
and you're like, hey, that chick? She looks like the chick from the other thing, and he just looks up like,
what's going on?
We'll say beforehand, your guide, she looks at you and goes, your suits should be finished charging. I'm not sure your capacity, but they should be charging within 30 to 60 minutes. If you need anything, just hold your HSD up to the pad, and it will bring up the screen. You can contact me at any point if you would like.
That's great. Thank you for all your help. And I'll turn back around and look to Huxley and
she kind of walks herself out. She walks out of the room.
It's like as you get closer, like he stands up and he grabs the front of your shirt. I recognize the guy. I killed him.
Now I'll look over to Zuchy, and as I'm assuming Huxley's eyeballs are like
he's like wide-eyed.
Yeah, exactly. I'll look over to Zuchy and say, did he show you? Is it the guy he shot on the run?
And he looks at Smokey. He says, well, to tell you the truth, I couldn't tell myself, but Huxley is convinced. You could take a look yourself if you like.
I would say he's pretty convinced, and I'll look back and he's still holding on to his well, I just ran into someone down below who looked like someone that we met at the scrub under the bridge, so maybe that's not as weird as I thought it was 2 minutes ago. Hopefully it's not weird for you either, Huxley.
Maybe they're all ghosts.
You say ghosts. I don't know, ghosts. As you said, we would know about cloning, right? I don't think ghosts is the way to go, but maybe something more scientifically, medically, not metaphysical.
I thought they might be cloned.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Not ghost Huxley.
He looks around the room suspiciously.
Um, does seem kind of weird, but I'm assuming that's not super weird for us, right? It's we are where we are in the world, right? So I would say if the suits are ready, if you guys, and it looks like maybe Huxley is, if you want to go ahead and leave and head back, maybe we can discuss this a bit more on the way. It would help us pass the time if we try to chew this over.
What's in the? You have the package. Do we know what it is?
Yeah, it's right. So, Smokey will pull it out and set it down. I don't know if Smokey would have actually kind of open it or look, right? I mean, we're doing a job. It's for someone we know, right? But it is a job. It's grab something and bring it back.
It's wrapped, right, Jesse? It's not like we could pop
It
the
is,
lid
yeah.
off or whatever. Yeah.
In paper, though, right? You said it's wrapped in paper.
Yeah, basically like parchment paper.
Let's put this. Yep, go ahead.
I think that the suits are probably done. So if you guys want to go, but we should be careful because you said that maybe somebody came after the guy that was here before. So we should be careful.
What time of day is it? We said it was getting
think
late
you
afternoon, right?
Yeah, you got there pretty late, like late afternoon, so it's probably, close to dusk at this point. You've been down here for maybe 45 minutes.
Is it safe to go back at night? I mean,
I would probably feel better if we didn't go out in the middle of the night. But
do you think they'll let us stay? She didn't seem like she wanted us to be here.
Can't hurt to ask.
yeah, so she did say if we had anything, right, just on the display we could do, right?
Yeah, to hit your cube up to the reader.
Yeah.
So I'll do that and say, hey, it's the guys that came and picked up that package. We're looking at the time and it's looking a bit late. Would it be possible if we just grabbed a bit of sleep in this room over here where we're at?
And her face like pops up in like on the screen, like she's looking at you through the camera of her tablet, and says, and at this point she actually like doesn't have the hood, like glasses up, hood down, so you can see she's younger, looks like she's in her like early to mid 20s. And she said, we don't have a designation for guests. But if you want to stay in that room, that's fine. I will warn you that in about a half hour, that area does go on lockdown. And we would prefer if you stay there. You have to understand we do have some very sensitive materials, and we would not want anything to happen to them or to you.
So Smokey will look to the other two and kind of shrug and say, I'm fine with that. If you guys are, right, we just wanted to catch some sleep. So if we're here and catching sleep, I don't think it really matters. We weren't going to be out roaming around anyways. We weren't, just gonna be snooping around or anything.
Kind of like glares at you through the camera.
How long is it locked down for? Is it till the morning? What time?
Yes, until the until the morning when shifts start again.
I'd feel better if we could stay. We've never run at night before. We have lights, but they don't reach like very far. It would be hard to see if something was to sneak up on us.
If that's what you prefer.
What do you think, Zuchy? What are you feeling?
I'm all right with if you guys are.
So Smokey will turn back to the display and say, I guess that settles it. Much appreciated. Yeah, I think we'll decamp here for the night and we'll head out first thing in the morning when we're able to.
Okay. I will have somebody. We don't have, as I said, we don't have accommodations. However, I could find some blankets for you.
That would be much appreciated. Thank you very much.
I'll send someone down.
Cool.
And if you do need anything during the night, feel free to contact me.
We'll try to keep out of your hair. Thank you very much.
And
so, okay, I think this opens up more possibilities for Jesse than. But I think that's, I don't think we would have run back at night anyways, right? Just it didn't seem like it would make sense. It's really not the best place to be. So Smokey will look to Huxley and say, "Are you sure you're all right? You know, you're good with what you discovered, what you think, what I know it's a bit freaking weird, but are you okay?"
I mean, I think so because we're together, and if they're gonna lock us down, then I guess nobody could get in or out. So it's probably fine. I mean, we could sleep in shifts that way, just in case someone tries to sneak in.
I don't think anybody's going to sneak in. I think from the discussion we were having, I don't think that guy you saw was the guy that we saw before. So it's either a weird coincidence, a really close relative, or like Zuchy said, some kind of clone or something. But yeah, and I think Smokey was here when you did say, Zuchy, that if that was the guy, he wouldn't have just dimmed the lights, right? I think Smokey was there. But anyways, I'll just say, yeah, I think we're all right. But I think the idea of sleeping in shifts and having someone keep an eye out is probably a good idea.
Okay. I can take first shift if you want.
That sounds fine to me. Zuchy, is that all right with you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think Hux is gonna really sleep right away anyway, so he'd probably be the best scout.
I could go over the suits to just make sure everything is okay. I'll just give him another once over, just to make sure.
Don't tire yourself out too much, and make sure. Once you get me up second, and then we'll let Zuchy sleep a bit longer, and he can do the last shift before the morning. But yeah, don't wear yourself out, and make sure you do get me up.
Okay, I will.
All right. So with that, you actually hear the doors open, and a guy comes in with he looks like he works in the possibly works in the warehouse. But he's got a pair of like the jumpers, but they're white instead of the tan. And he's carrying basically like those gray wool blankets, and he has a few of those, along with a like a like soft-sided cooler almost. And you guys kind of have your back to him when the doors open. He walks in and goes, "I brought some blankets and some food and amenities for you if you need them."
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Make sure you get out before the lockdown happens. I don't think you want to be stuck in here with us three.
Oh, don't worry. I know what I'm doing. And when you kind of, he's kind of talking to you like over your back, and when you say that, you kind of turn around and you look at him. It's Dog. Just not as scarred.
So I won't start blubbering like Huxley did, but I will. My eyes will open a bit and say, "Thanks, we appreciate it." And then I'll turn back around to look at the two guys, and so my eyes will be really wide, and I'll kind of like hold
and
up.
And he kind of says too. He's like, so when he puts the cooler down, he goes, "We cultivate stuff under here. We have to use artificial UV light, but I think I still think that the flavor is pretty good. So if you imbibe, go ahead."
I'll turn back around and say, "No, that's very much appreciated. Thank you very much." I'm Smokey. What's your name?
Oh, well, they call me the Dog. But I guess my official designation is D3105.
It's really, really good to meet you, Dog. We really appreciate the little bit of extra you gave here for us, and I'll make sure we get you back next time we're here.
Oh, are you planning on coming back?
We're doing a job for a friend, so hopefully she'll think we did a pretty good job. Each repeat customer you can get is always a good thing. It's less effort you have to find going out and getting more work.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If you end up coming back, I'd love to trade with you. Maybe I get you a little something. Maybe you tell me some stories. I've never been outside, so be cool to hear about.
Oh, we'll whip up some good stories for you. I promise.
Hey.
Huxley squints, and he looks at that guy because he knows the name now, right? Because it's come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says, like he kind of like puts his hand up again as they're talking, and he says,
he goes over to you and gives you a high five.
"Oh, right." And he like goes to try to slap him again, but he already put his hand down. You said your designation. You don't have a name, like a regular name. How come?
Oh, no, I mean, like I said, they call me the Dog, but, there's kind of a bunch of us called that, so we go by the numbers instead. It's just a lot easier to kind of keep everything straight.
How come? Like, he looks confused. How come you only have numbers?
Oh, I mean, because it's just easier that way. You guys use numbers, right?
No, my name is Huxley. This is
Well,
Mr.
I mean,
Zuchy?
Yeah, but like when you go like when you came here, like you had a number, right?
He looks to the other two confused, like, no.
So I think Smokey would try to calm Huxley and pulling him away to make sure he doesn't short circuit. But I also don't want to stop John anything you want to do, right? So Smokey's keeping an eye on Huxley to make sure he just doesn't start, like fritzing out or anything. But
I love you know what? If you're up to it either in the morning or next time you're here, I'd love to chat. I got locked down though in 5 minutes. I gotta make it back to my house.
Okay. Sure. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, you got it.
thanks, dog. Really appreciate it. And I promise you, we'll get you some stories next time we're back.
Oh, I can't wait. And yeah, he leaves then. And pretty much as soon like when he goes through the door, at that point like you hear it close, but then you hear like a of the lock.
And I think Huxley just says, like, is he one of the clones that you were talking about? Why would there be so many dogs?
Smokey's going to reach into the cooler and grab one for each of us. Pop them and say,
Yep. Yeah, so you'll see there's a bottle. There's 3 bottles of probably beer. Like when you crack it, it smells hoppy and like it smells super fresh. So there's 3 beers, and then there's also 3 rolled cigars as well.
how long did we say the run was back? It was
It's like 10 hours or something,
Yeah,
8
that was a
hours
number.
Yeah.
or something.
okay.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was 10 hours.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I'm going to be getting much sleep tonight. But it's a good thing there's only one of these for each because we do need a bit of rest. So let's have these and try to calm down a little bit. And Smokey will definitely is up and take a drink.
And what's Zuchy doing?
I think that Zuchy passes on the cigar. He's like, that, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really my thing, Already deal with enough things on fire. I don't really feel like this being one of them right now. So I'm just going to have myself a drink. And you know what? As much as weird as this day has been, I think I might turn in a little early.
And how about Hux?
Huxley would drink the beer and also pass on the cigar. Like he would just hand it to Smokey.
Yeah.
Smokey will definitely pocket the other 2.
Smokey's living up to his name.
Right.
So I wish they would have brought a couple of sandwiches, but I guess this is good. Then like awkwardly takes a sip of the beer.
I'll make sure when we get up first thing in the morning, we'll get some food in. And she did say that if we needed anything, I'll make sure there's something for us before we head out. If everything's locked down, I don't think we're going to be getting any sandwiches now, but that'll be the first thing we do in the morning.
Oh, okay. It'll be a long run if we don't have anything to eat.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sure we can grab something.
Now, John, you had said before that you wanted to kind of like give all the suits a once over and everything first, right? Are Smokey and Zuchy just kind of gonna chill and let Huxley do it, or are you gonna assist?
I was gonna let Huxley do it because I think Smokey would also think that would take his mind off everything else. But I
Yep.
think Smokey
That's
also
his relaxation. That's his yoga.
and I think Smokey's gonna go just sit down and put his head back and finish the cigar because I think he's got to clear his mind.
Which is his yoga.
Everything's got a bit weird, and while Huxley's doing the suits, like I said, Smokey will just be sitting down, lean back, kind of resting, and he will say, breakfast first thing in the morning, and when we get back, we got lots of questions we got to ask Marla. And then he's just kind of like drifting off a bit and, getting relaxed and comfortable. That's kind of the last thing he says. And he's just going to, kind of drift off a bit, try to rest his eyes. And if he zonks out there, he's going to zonk out.
Yep. All right. In that case, why don't the three of you give me a health check? And
I think you asked me for a mechanics check.
This is going to be. If I can find. Why can't I find it? It's going to be a DL4.
6.
2.
Nice.
Oh no, 6 for me too.
No. And
nice. All right. So yep. So Zuchy and Smokey, you both kind of like drink your beers. Smokey, smokes the cigar, and the two of you just kind of like settle up against the wall and fall asleep pretty easily. Huxley, as they kind of fall asleep, you are, going over the suits and everything, and you're at it for probably about a half hour, 45 minutes or so. And suddenly you get like a little bit of a pain creeping up your neck. You start feeling it in your temples. You start to get like slightly woozy, right? Head starts to get a little spinny. Things start to come a little bit out of focus for you.
Mm-hmm. He's rolling his shoulders, like he puts the tools down. He kind of like tries to stretch a little bit, right? Because he's in there kind of dicking around with stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, jeez. Yeah. He sits down.
Yeah. Like you start kind of not necessarily browning out, but you start to get nauseous. You start to get knots in your stomach. Go ahead and give me a brains roll. Use your medical as well if you want. It's going to be a DL3.
All right. That is going to be a 6. Yes, and.
Nice. Yes, and. So, if you don't mind, I'll give you the and. It's easier instead of making you give another roll, it's easier to give it to you all in one. Mm-hmm. You're suffering the effects of radiation poisoning.
Huh.
And as this kind of starts to, you're like, but I'm shielded and everything was... Every other time that when you go back to Igram, when you went to Green Hills, even when you went to the scrub under the bridge, you were decontaminated. There was no decontamination when you came into Tizane. And yet everybody else is walking around perfectly fine. You've now been here an hour, little over, and you're starting to feel the effects.
Oh boy. So I think he stagger crawls over to Smokey and just starts like pushing on him to wake him up. Mr. Smokey, Mr. Smokey, you have to get up.
Yeah, so I think Smokey will, pop his eyes open and okay, is my turn for the watch?
No, I don't know. Maybe, but I feel like we're being irradiated. I feel sick and queasy, and I don't feel good. And they didn't decontaminate us, and we're in here with the suits, and now we're trapped. And I feel really bad.
Okay, so that'll wake Smokey up even more. Does Smokey feel bad?
You feel okay for now.
Zuchy, get to wake up. And then, he'll get up to his feet, he'll lift, he'll help Huxley, just go guide him somewhere to sit down. And then Smokey will go wake Zuchy up and say, kid said he's not feeling good. He's saying he thinks it's a radiation. How are you feeling?
What do you mean? God, I was trying to get to sleep. I'm fine. I want some rest, man. What's happening here?
We have to get in the suits because it's not. They don't have any protection for the radiation. It seems really bad. You don't feel that?
So as soon as Huxley says that about getting in the suit, Smokey will go over and grab his suit and start getting in it.
There you go. And remember too, Smokey's suit actually does have a Geiger counter on it too.
I think Zuchy would actually start getting helping Huxley get into his suit.
Nice.
Yeah. So once Smokey gets his on, he'll go over and see Zuchy trying to get Huxley in, and he'll come over and help and check his Geiger counter.
Yeah.
Sure
yeah. So you check
seal.
it. Yeah. You check it, and it is not an incredible amount of radiation, but you're looking at a couple of grays worth the radiation. So you're talking like between 200 to 300 rads worth the energy flowing around here, which is significant, for normal living.
So
enough to be protected by the suits. Like how many grays is that? There's like 2 or 3
That's
gray or whatever.
It's between 1 to 2.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll be protected in the suits, but how these people are walking around without suits on, like this is radiation that, with consistent exposure, would kill somebody within 24 hours.
Let's get our suits on. Stay up for a bit. If you guys think it's all right, if you're feeling all right, Huxley, let's keep an eye on each other for the next hour or so. And then we probably should get some rest because we got to get the hell out of here first thing tomorrow.
I think we'll be okay in the suits. If it's only 1 or 2, but these people should all be dead. They're not wearing suits.
It looks like we have some more questions we're going to ask Marla when we get back. But the most important thing now is making sure we can get out of here. So like I said, let's keep an eye on each other for an hour or so, and then let's try to get some rest. I'm sure we're not going to need anybody to keep watch. I'm sure once the lockdown's done, I'm sure they'll hear or they'll prompt us, and we can go get the heck out.
And at that point, on the monitor by the door, you hear a bloop, 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 bloop. And then a voice comes over and goes, is everybody okay in there? We heard we're getting readings of some regular heartbeats, and just wanted to make sure that you're doing okay.
Smokey will dart his eyes over to Huxley. Do we want to bring this up now, or do we want to bring it up tomorrow? Said, but I think we do need some rest. I think if we get into this now, it may be going on for a while.
If you don't say anything, Huxley definitely going to. Like, if you look to me, then you need to do something, or he's going to be like, we're full of radiation.
Well, no, that's I was assuming Huxley was going to. Smokey wasn't, but
yeah,
he was going to look over because he would understand it more and explain it better anyway. So
yeah, so when your eyes flick over to me and then nobody says anything, he's just like, we had to get in the suits. There's background radiation. It shouldn't be. Everybody should be in a suit.
And at that point, you like finish putting your suit on and everything, and the woman on the monitor goes, "Oh, we forgot about that. That's really too bad." And when you like finally suit up, helmet cinches on, and you look over, and it's not the woman that you were talking to before on the monitor. It's Marla.
What? What?
And we'll go ahead and end there.
Son of a bitch.
that's very
Fine.
good.
I think it's a trap.
It's a drop.
Yep.
I think one of the recognizable clones was enough, but that's why I said if we made a break for it, if we left, I'm sure Jesse would have thrown something at us. But this is much better.
Yeah. All right. Well. Okay. So. We can support us on Patreon if you want, I guess. That's it. Ratings, reviews. I don't know. It's all fucked up now. Do the things. We're gonna end the show.
Just come back.
Yeah. We'll see what happens next time. Maybe Huxley have to murder a bunch of people. I don't know. Oh, Midwest Resin Geek. Check out Kurt's wife Tracy has her own Etsy shop and makes all kinds of cool resin accoutrement, including dice, lots of cool dice. John and I both have some dice from there. Your results on rolling is on you. The dice are awesome. Just roll them better. I don't know. It's fine. Whatever. Yeah, thanks for checking it out, and we'll catch you next time.
Peace.